Ubisoft has shut down XDefiant just a month after they said they had no plans to shut down. Then they had the gall to claim that they've always been truthful and honest. And that's one of the things they liked about the game that they worked on and how the communication they had with the players was so honest and truthful. You cannot make this stuff up. These people are so dishonest. They will lie straight to your face and then lie again and say that they were being honest to you about their previous line. Sick and disgusting. It shows that there is a deep rot at the core of this company, and players have sniffed it out and are rejecting it. Roll this up over at phantompulse.com. You can find the link in the description below. I encourage you to head on over there and become a paid subscriber so you can help us fight back against this woke ideology that is infecting our video games, movies, television, books, tabletop gaming, etc., and trying to bring down our culture and society. We will not let this happen. So in a blog post written by Ubisoft's Chief Studios and Portfolio Officer, Marie-Sophie de Wabert, the company announced this: despite an encouraging start, the team's passionate work and a committed fan base, we've not been able to attract and retain enough players in the long run to compete at the level we aim for in the very demanding free-to-play FPS market. So remember, this game hasn't even been out a year yet. Hasn't even been out a year. I think it released May of this year. So they're talking long run. It hasn't even been a year. Like, what are these people even talking about? Long run? It hasn't even been a year. As a result, the game is too far away from reaching the results required to enable further significant investment, and we are announcing that we will be sunsetting it. So the fact that they're shutting this down in less than a year, announcing that it's being shut down just about a year after it was released, means that the player numbers have to be totally bad, super abysmal. There clearly is no spending on this game. People have abandoned this game totally. I mean, that has to be really low, like really low. She then explained concretely that means that as of today, new downloads, player registrations, and purchases will no longer be available. Season 3 will still launch, and the servers will remain active until June 3, 2025, out of appreciation for both our dev teams who worked on it and for XDefiant's active players. So they're not even going to get to Season 4, and that is important because that's what this executive producer, Mark Rubin, claimed a little over a month ago, that they had no plans to shut down the game after Season 4. Well, they're not even going to get to Season 4. So Wabert then explained that not only was the company shutting down XDefiant, but it was closing its San Francisco and Osaka production studios that were supporting the game as well. She wrote this: even if almost half of the XDefiant team worldwide will be transitioning to other roles within Ubisoft, this decision also leads to the closing of our San Francisco and Osaka production studios and to the ramp down of our Sydney production site, with 143 people departing in San Francisco and 134 people likely to depart in Osaka and Sydney. So that's about 300 people. Probably a little bit less than that, obviously, because we're looking at it's probably 177, it looks like 177 people. So, or excuse me, 277, a little bit less than 300, but around 300 people. We then got Mark Rubin, executive producer for this game. He provided some more details about the game's shuttering, and he posted this. This was also posted to the XDefiant X account, but it was also on a blog post on Ubisoft's website. And he wrote this: starting today, December 3rd, 2024, new downloads and player registrations will no longer be available. We will still release our Season 3 content in the near future, exact date to be determined, and the servers will remain active until June 3, 2025. For those who purchased the Ultimate Founders Pack, you'll receive a full refund. Players who made any purchases within the last 30 days will also be fully refunded. Those refunds should happen automatically within 8 weeks of today, and you can find more details on our official website, xdefiant.com. Of note, Rubin did share that XDefiant, quote, broke internal records for the fastest game to surpass 5 million users. And in the end, we had over 15 million players play our game. Clearly, they did not keep playing the game. Otherwise, you would not be shutting it down. So people were interested in checking this out, checked it out, and immediately checked out. But then this is kind of what really pisses me off right here, that these people will just straight up lie to your face. They will just straight up lie to your face and hope that you will accept it. And they think that you'll accept it because he said this: if there's one thing I hope we can all take away from this experience, it's the importance of open, honest communication between developers and players. This player-first mentality, along with respectful, non-toxic conversations between developers and players, has been one of the standout differences that made XDefiant so special. For my very first post about XDefiant, this was the vision I wanted to champion, and I hope it leaves a positive mark on how the game industry treats its players and communities. So this guy is going to tell you that they have open and honest communication between developers and players. Is an utter lie. And we have the receipts to prove this. Because a little over a month ago, Ruben made it abundantly clear that there were no plans to shut down XDefiant after Season 4. This is what he wrote on X, October 15, like a month and a half ago. To be crystal clear, there are no plans to shut down after Season 4. Yeah, because you're shutting down after Season 3, I guess. I guess that's how you're going to get around it, right? Oh, well, we didn't shut down after Season 4. We shut down after Season 3. Just unbelievable. I've literally been in meetings as of last week to discuss our year 2 plans. But right now, we are super focused on improving the technical experience, which includes netcode, and adding more content for Seasons 3 and 4. We have done very little marketing, so yes, our numbers are down, but that is just to give the team the time to get the game in a better place before we do bigger spends on marketing to bring new players to the game and to bring back players that have left. So he's literally talking about how they're going to do a lot more marketing. They're going to bring players back to this game, and they're going to continue doing year 2. Remember, this is the same company that said that they had the biggest marketing budget ever for Star Wars Outlaws, and that game couldn't even get over 2,500 concurrent players on Steam when it launched November 21st. We don't even know what the sales data are for that game. They haven't even revealed any of that. They said, well, all we know is that it's underperformed expectations and they have been soft. There's a rumor that claims it sold 1 million units. I think that's probably about what it sold. I don't think it sold anything more than that. Maybe a little bit more because it came out on Steam, but nothing. I don't think it's over 2 million. Total failure. And these are people saying that they're talking about year 2 plans, and they're literally shutting down after Season 3. So this Sean Weber, just for Leaks 2, was actually right, or very close to being right, because he thought it would be Season 4, not Season 3. So he says XDefiant is already dead. Ubisoft research team is actively asking their tester to have another in-house test session and repeat their feedback. Multiple sources told that it's possible that the game will end its support after Season 4 if they can't get enough players. He wrote this October 14. And Ruben had to address it a day later. Responded a day later and lied. This guy was 100% right. The only thing he got wrong was Season 3. They shut it down earlier than what he was hearing. They didn't even give it they didn't even finish Season 4. They didn't even finish their full year. And that rumor wasn't out of left field either, right? We had a trading call update back at the end of September. Ubisoft CEO, Yves Guillemot, admitted that the game was not performing to the company's expectations. When asked about the company's poor sales performance in the company's Q2, he said this: it mostly reflects the softer than expected sales for Star Wars Outlaws. We also had behind expectations for XDefiant, which we will give you a bit more detail at the end of October. So he admitted that they were behind on XDefiant. And then he says they were going to give us some information in October, which we'll get to that in a little bit here. There was also a previous rumor from Tom Henderson at Insider Gaming at the end of August. He noted the game was seeing, quote, continuously declining player numbers and lack of player spending. He reported that one source informed him that the game has been struggling to obtain 20,000 concurrent players across all its platforms. That's absolutely abysmal. That is abysmal. Most of these like successful free-to-play games have like 400,000 minimum. Another source said this: Ubisoft would probably be happy with that number, suggesting that the current player number counts were much lower than 20,000. If they were at 20,000, they'd probably like that. But they weren't even probably close to that. Henderson also shared that if the game does not turn things around by Season 3, it risks losing its much-needed post-launch support. So Henderson was at Season 3 right there, and they're clearly shutting down after Season 3. It's not getting any post-launch support. Just completely shutting it down. Ubisoft did address Henderson's report in a blog post in the middle of September, written by Mark Rubin. He says, I just want to quickly address the status of the game, i.e., is the game dying? No, the game is absolutely not dying. Honest. What did he say? What did he say? Open, honest communication. Open, honest communication is what he said. The game's not dying. They're literally shutting it down after season 3. Okay. I can't make this stuff up. We know there are things we need to improve, like netcode, hit reg, and adding more content to progression, but the game is doing well. We just wanted to do better. You're shutting down after season 3, my friend. You're shutting down after season 3. And you knew it. I mean, these people knew it. He knew. He knew this game was not doing well when he's writing this. But he's going to lie to you and say that they have open, honest communication. I would never hire this person ever again. He's a liar. Like, he's an admitted liar. He's lied multiple times. You don't have to lie. You should never lie. Like, this is a dishonest person. And I think it's part of the company culture over there at Ubisoft. I think they encourage it. I mean, you see it. It's all in their DI policies. It's all dishonest. It's all deceptive. It's not about the truth over there. But I would never hire someone like this. Ever. Repeated pattern of lying, unless they are like clearly have shown that they are not doing that anymore. But this guy's literally like lying to your face while he's announcing this game's getting shut down. It's despicable. It's despicable. We shouldn't accept this. We've accepted this for too long. We've tolerated this for too long. We cannot accept these lies anymore. This is why we're heading down the slippery slope. This is why these lunatics think that men can become women and women can become men. Because we believed all these other lies. Or we've tolerated all these lies. Enough is enough. Anyways, he goes on and says, and we do that by addressing the concerns of our community, which has always been the plan. Ubisoft is very much behind us and has allocated more resources to the team in order for us to do that. I mean, this company is stupid too. This Ubisoft company they are really dumb. I mean, they put more resources into Star Wars Outlaws. They're spending another 20 million euros for Assassin's Creed Shadows after delaying that. They're throwing away money at this point. They're just burning it up. It's like the Joker. We got to send a message. Well, the only message they're getting sent is that we don't want your games. And then he revealed the game's year 1 roadmap in that blog post too. So you can see where it is right here. So we also had commentary from Guillemot. This is what I kind of talked about earlier when he said that he promised he would address the game in October. Well, he didn't. They didn't really address it at all. We will tell you about it in October. And then they don't actually tell you. They don't actually address it at all. Again, it starts from the top. This is a dishonest company. It's part of the company's culture. You've got the CEO literally lying to investors on a trading call update. And one investor asked, you don't mention XDefiant much in the release. How should we think about that? It's obviously tailed off. Is this just another example or another case of this just not working? The games as a service sort of free-to-play variant. I know Rainbow Six is obviously incredibly successful, but should we chalk XDefiant up as another miss? Like, these investors aren't stupid. They know that this guy's lying through his teeth to them. We're going to give you an update. And then they literally don't give you an update. Well, if you're not giving an update, that means like this is absolutely awful. It's worse than what we might even have been thinking. And how does he respond? As we said a month ago, XDefiant is behind our expectations, but the team is working and focusing on improving the heat registration element and improving the netcode. I mean, these are all talking points. This is what this guy was saying, and Ruben was saying in September. This is a talking point. And that is really the priority as we speak. Our games as a service strategy remains core of what we want to do next. Free-to-play games as service remains a core element of our, I couldn't understand what he said there, strategy to the benefit of our big brands in the coming years. Like, completely avoids the question, doesn't address whether or not the game is a hit or a miss, or if they're actually like trying to salvage the game. Doesn't provide any update. Just completely punts on the question and evades. After he promised he would give an update. He promised he would give an update. He didn't. These are liars. So that is what's going on with XDefiant. Shut down. Obviously, because no one was playing the game, no one was buying anything in the game. And it's just another massive, massive failure for Ubisoft in a year of massive failures for them. It's not just Star Wars Outlaws. It's not just XDefiant. You got Skull and Bones, the Prince of Persia game, Lost Crown. All massive failures. And they would have had another one. They would have had Assassin's Creed Shadows would have been another failure if they actually released it this year. They just delayed it. They just delayed it to February. They delayed the failure to February because that game is going to fail. And they only have themselves to blame. They only have themselves to blame. But let me know what you guys make of this. Let me know in the comments below. Remember to always be charitable and to always, always speak the truth.